What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. Today we're going to talk about a realistic situation. We're going to talk about Draymond Green, a guy that hit James Harden in the face. He's a high personality person. He's always yelling. He wear his heart on his sleeve. He's always yelling and getting into it with people, always doing something that can cause him to get ejected. But another thing is, Draymond Green hasn't really, to me personally, played that well. When you're going against teams that's less talented, or even you have the advantages and the matchups in your favor, you're not really required to do that much. But as you go further in the playoffs, as you go against better coaches, better players, and better teams in general, you're required to do more because your team needs you to pick up and do what you're supposed to do. And even though he jeopardizes his teammates by getting technicals, which leads to points in the ball, and getting flagrants too, which can put his teams in holes, and even to the bigger picture extent that he can get suspended, which we've seen in the finals before. One of your best players, one of your most important pieces, people even go as far as saying that Draymond Green is the heart and the soul of the Golden State Warriors. You have a person that everybody sees how valuable he is, and he puts himself in sticky situations consistently. Not only do he put himself in sticky situations consistently, he hurts and hinders the team, especially when he does things that he know can possibly get him ejected or hurt his team with the technicals and flagrants. Another thing is Draymond Green, he was one of the people that recruited Kevin Durant. Him and Iguodala, they wanted to say, like, hey, we willing to make it work. We're willing to sacrifice. It got Draymond Green, to me, and people don't notice this. Draymond Green ain't the same Draymond Green 2 years ago. He's not the same Draymond Green in 2015, and he shouldn't be, because now you have a more talented roster, and they added some more depth on that bench compared to last year. They had mediocre talent on the bench. Now they have more veterans and more depth in general. If you look at the Rockets, you might say they're even deeper. And you will need a guy like Draymond Green to step up more, because if you really look at how he played against the Spurs, he really had a mediocre to bad playoff run against the Spurs. He was shooting a lot of threes. He shot 28% from three. He shot 35% from the field. His best scoring game was 17 points. Yeah, you can say he gave you a bunch of rebounds with 19 and 18 in game 5 and game 6, which they did need, and he gave you the assists. But other than that, Draymond Green didn't really shoot or score the ball well. He did the dirty work, but he's doing it again against the Rockets. And he's going to give you the rebounds, he's going to give you the assists, but they need more out of him now, because Steph coming off that injury, not being 100%, and he needs to be able to get those screens. He needs to be able to get off. And if he's not getting off, Kevin Durant, they always say James Harden and Chris Paul, they need two people to beat this Warriors team consistently in 4 games. If you look at it, Kevin Durant is going to need help. Klay Thompson will be there more times than not. Steph Curry is their second best player, arguably their first, and I will admit that. But Kevin Durant has been playing better than him as of late, and in the finals last year too. He did. That's why he was a finals MVP. But Draymond Green is going to have to go back to that versatile offensive player offensively, getting the floaters, sliding and getting to the basket and finishing, knocking down spot up threes. That's an easy shot to me. Draymond Green has made a living of doing the extra, the rebounding, the guarding, the rotation, the switching, knocking down the spot up threes, get into the paint. If he's not laying it up, he's finding the shooters. Yes, he's still doing some of that, but he hasn't been doing it as effectively and efficiently. And he is getting his rebounds, he is getting his assists, but he averaged 5 points a game so far against Houston, shooting 30% from the field and 0% from the 3-point line. Yes, he's giving you 7 rebounds and 7 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals, but you're going to need more out of him because you're going against a more better, talented team. They need everybody to be playing at their best. Even if they don't have to do it, you still prefer them to do it because you want the best opportunity to win. And looking at that game one and game two, they got away with game one. They got blew out game two. That's a game that you look at and say, I want to go back out there and play because I know we can play better than this. I know that we're, after getting this bad taste in our mouth, we want to go back out there and prove that we're the best team. But you shouldn't lose a game like the way they did, having Steph be bad, having Clay be bad, having Draymond be bad. And now you're in a situation where you're 1-1 when you prefer to be going home up 2-0 instead of being tied, and now you got to go home and try to take care of home unless you lose home court advantage in the series. Even though they have went to Houston and won a game, it's not a guarantee that they can go in there and do it again. They did get blew out by the Pelicans and came back and finished the series at 2 games in a row, so I think they will rebound. They are the best team in the league. They are the champions, so you have to give them the benefit of the doubt until proven otherwise. But Draymond Green, to me, has just been so inconsistent, not just this year to me, but just even last year. Even though they won the title and they had a spectacular season, he shot 34% and 28% from three and 66 from the free throw line last year. Not only that, he only gave you 10 rebounds and 4 assists and 11 points. Draymond Green wasn't really that good last year. He wanted Kevin Durant. He recruited Kevin Durant, but in the against the best teams, because Kawhi Leonard went down, so the Spurs wasn't as great because Kawhi Leonard wasn't there, and then they had other injuries like David Lee, and more of their role players went down that season too. In that playoff run against the Spurs, they wasn't healthy and beat up. Even Tony Parker, I believe, went down. So they lost a lot of their pieces. So Draymond Green and the Warriors had an easier time dispatching them because of a lot of injuries. But one thing I will say is even against the championship team, the Cavaliers that they was playing, Draymond Green did not have one of his best series. And like I said, he struggled against San Antonio this year, and he struggled in right now against the Rockets. He does have time to correct it, but let's just talk about that. Finishing. He isn't finishing as well. He's settling a lot more for the three. He is continuing to keeping his teammates involved and keeping them touching the ball. And he is still buying into a team concept defensively and offensively, but he's not really a threat. And I feel like that has really hurt the the ceiling of this team is that he recruited Kevin Durant and he really hasn't really meshed offensively well with Kevin Durant. As crazy as that seems, it seems like they don't really complement each other offensively. Like he's a perfect piece passing the ball, rebounding and blocking because he's athletic and quick, and so is KD. But offensively, he hasn't really fit well personally to me with Kevin Durant. And most of it is because Kevin Durant is a guy that likes to get the ball in isolation and slow the game down a little bit because they give him the ball in the post, even though he makes quick shots and quick decisions and he is unselfish. It puts Draymond Green to the perimeter, which we all know we prefer Draymond to hit that three. And if he's hitting that three, you're most likely going to lose because even though that's been his role, he has never really been consistent from that 3-point line ever. He done had great series. He done had great stretches, but he always been a mediocre 3-point shooter. So you prefer Kevin Durant busting your ass in the post. If, like yesterday, he did whatever he wanted to do, but the other teammates wasn't getting the ball. The other teammates wasn't knocking down shots, and they didn't have a chance to get in the rhythm. But they did have a consistent attack to go to in Kevin Durant, which is always going to be there. That's why I think adding Kevin Durant is so pivotal for this team's successes because if all else fails, you still have a weapon to go through each and every possession. And even Steve Kerr admitted that having that guy that in the fourth quarter, like we seen against the Cavaliers, we can give him the ball and he can make quick work about against anybody, and he can do it efficiently. And most of the time, he doesn't even turn the ball over. So I think we're going to need more diversity from Draymond Green as teams get better and as teams construct, like you've seen with the Rockets, trying to construct teams to take down the Warriors. And you have a team like the Celtics that have the length, has the small ball lineups, has the perimeter shooting, and has the stars in Kyrie and Gordon. Also, the length and the athleticism in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and Al Horford and Morris. They have the size, the speed, the athleticism, and the perimeter shooting and trust and ball movement, and they're unified. That's going to be a problem, especially as they're getting older and the Celtics are still young. These teams are going to start finding ways to exploit the weaknesses of Golden State, and Draymond Green is one of those weaknesses offensively. You can limit him. You're not going to limit the passing, but you can limit him scoring, which does bring their ceiling down a little bit more, especially as teams like the Celtics and Philly develop, get better, and they age. They're going to need Draymond Green to either step up more offensively or find other weapons and things to do when he has the ball besides shoot spot up threes from the perimeter, which he's always been shaky at doing. I'm not putting all the blame on Draymond Green. Matter of fact, I said I gave him credit last year for having some good series, but this playoff run, they need him to be more consistent on the offensive end. He gives the effort and energy defensively. He needs to be more mature. That's something that we all know. But Draymond Green has really been a hindrance to the ceiling of this team, especially with the addition of KD. He doesn't get the looks. He doesn't get the touches. He's not utilized the same way. So I think he needs to evolve and expand his game and his moves to be a better fit for this current Golden State team and moving on in the future. You want all your 4 All-Stars to be on the same page and they offense look beautiful when they are. But Draymond Green has become more predictable under this new offense with Kevin Durant. And I think that's something that they definitely will have to change. And that's something that he's going to have to study in the offseason. They might be good enough to win the ring this year, but as we're starting to see, they're going to start having competition as the years go on. And age and father time is going to start becoming their enemy. And they're going to have to find other ways to get it done because people are going to start studying them, building the teams, and trying to take them down. And Houston is a formidable opponent, but it's other teams that's up and coming that can make those moves to give them a challenge in the future. Let me know what you guys think, though. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Quinn Wade, basketball analysis signing out, and let me know what you guys think about Draymond Green and the Golden State Warriors.